Hello friends, so in this video tutorial we will learn about regression analysis. So the topics which we cover here is what is regression analysis, what is simple and multiple regression, and logistic regression. So now here we will discuss them one by one. First of all, what is regression analysis? So regression analysis is a statistical method that show the relation between two or more variables. So here we have two variables, which is one is we call independent and another one is the dependent variable. So we have to find out the relation between them, and if they have numerical in numerical form, then we can find out the relation between them. So regression analysis is widely used for prediction and forecasting. So main objective of it is to predict what will happen in future. So for future findings we will use that. So how to use that, let's see one by one. So here is an example here, like we have some independent variable like age, salary or education of a customer. Like we have different independent variables here. And we have a sale as a dependent variable. Now from this we can find the relation between independent variable and dependent variable, and what are the influence they are making, independent variables are making on dependent variable, and predict about sale from our independent variable, prediction of variable by one or more variables, like what are the like possibilities or changes they will make in the sales if it will change in the age independent variable, like age, salary or education will make on the sales. So here is an example, like here we only have two variables, one is dependent and another one is dependent, and we will discuss about education and income. So here we will say like dependent variable is income. So what will be the income effect according according to the education of a person. By conducting regression analysis, characters research can assess the relationship between education and income and determine the extent to which education influence income. So independent variable here is education. So what are the influence of education on income? We can determine that with these two variables, like one education and another one is income. Let's go further, like we have taken another example like sales and your advertising. So suppose the dependent variable is sales, like sales is our dependent which we have to find out, we can say, and dependent variable is advertising expense. So what amount of advertising expenditure will affect sales, we can measure the relation between them with this regression analysis. So we have only taken the two variables here, one dependent and another one is independent. So sales and quantify the relation between two variables here. Next is like if we will take this example. So here we have taken a house and your location and your price size, location, price. So what will be the effect of your like if we will say like our in this case like size is our dependent variable and price and location is our independent variable. So what is location and your price will affect the size of the house, and your this location can be categorical variable also, like it can be urban or suburban. So we have here categorical data also, like in the case of this location we have you can say category like whether it's in the rural area, whether it is in the city area. So this way we can do regression also. So we will discuss them one by one here. So in the from above we can find out like we have three type of regression: simple linear regression, multiple linear regression, and logistical linear regression. So regression are divided into three types. So we will check them one by one. So in simple linear regression we have only one dependent and one independent variable. Like if you will take the case of your sales as a dependent variable and advertising as an independent variable. So we can say like in simple linear regression, estimate the relation between one independent variable and one dependent variable. So we only have one dependent and one independent variable in simple regression. Let's move further. Like what is multiple linear regression? So as in the graph it shows, like in the picture it shows, like we have different independent variables. So we have one or more, like two or more than two independent variables and one dependent variables. Like dependent variables is like what we have to predict in future. It is basically for future forecasting. So like age, salary, education. So what they will affect. So the definition is a regression model that estimates the relation between quantitative dependent variables and two or more independent variables. Now logistic regression. So if we will talk about logistic regression in statistical techniques used to model the relation between categorical dependent variable and one or two independent variables. So it can be one or more independent variable, but our dependent variable have categorical variables. Categorical variables like we have here age, salary or education. And like if we have a customer, they have certain ages, different ages, like they have salary, they have education. But whether we will say in category like whether they are satisfied or dissatisfied, how many customers are happy, how many are angry. So we can find out the categorical variables in this. Like dependent variable have two characters. Another example, like if we are going through a website, whether we will purchase it or not. Okay, like we are spending time on website like 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, whether we will purchase it or not. So like there are dependent variable are of two types. Categorical variable we will call them. So dependent variable are categorical in case of logistic regression. Now let's take an example of simple linear regression in data analytics. Like we have here some observation like house size and sales price. Like we have different house size and we have a sales price. So house size is our X and Y is, so we will divide them into X and Y here. So X is our independent variable and Y is our dependent variable. So Y is denoted with dependent variable and X is denoted with your dependent variable. So size in square feet and sale in your rupees, whatever you will say. So now we have a data here now. To perform linear regression analysis on this data, you would use X as predictor. So another name for independent variable is predictor, and another name for your would be house X as predictor or independent variable. So X is dependent variable and size Y is our dependent variable. So for that we will use a formula. Y is beta null plus beta 1 multiply X. So this is our formula. So what is Y denote here is the predicted sales which we want to find out here. Beta null is where, like if you will convert them into a chart. So beta null is like where it's 0. Like beta 0 is inception the value Y when X is 0. Like it can be this way, this line can be in other side also, like it can be that, then on that case it will not be 0. Okay, and it will start from this line can start from here, this line can start arrow. So when beta inception value is Y is 0 and beta 1 is the slope, like what is the difference here, like 1000, then 1500, 200. So the difference between that will be there, and x is the value of your like what will be the x there. Then we can predict the value of y. So this way we can do the simple linear regression. So by fitting the data to the model, you can estimate the value of beta null, beta 1 that fits the relation between the house size and sale price. Using statistical software or programming language like Python, you can perform the regression analysis and obtain the result. So formula you have understand, and then we can put the value there. Next is your multiple linear regression, where we have multiple independent variables and one dependent variable. Let's say the case here, like we have production hours, number of employee, raw material, and monthly revenue. So what are the effects all these independent variable are making on dependent variable? We can find out that with multiple linear regression. So predictor value or response variables is the name for we can give for dependent or independent. This is another name we can call them. To perform multiple linear analysis on this data, you use the production hours. Like independent variable are denoted by x. So here we have denoted them with x1, x2, x3, and our dependent variable with y. So this way we will create it. Next is like we will create the formula is like y, what we want to find out. So beta null, then beta 1 multiplied by x1. First of all, we will take the value of x1 plus beta 2, x2, then beta 3 x plus beta x3. So beta here is your coefficient, like which is that is basically the difference when we will create a chart. So what is the difference between the different values we will put, and beta null is like when our x is 0, where y is 0, like this. By fitting the model, you can estimate the value of beta 1, beta null, beta 1, beta 2, and beta 3 that fit the relation between predictor variable and monthly revenue. So we will use software like Python to find out that in the regression and obtain the result. Next is your logistic regression. Logistic regression, as we know, we have one or multiple independent variable or categorical dependent variable where we can have answer 1, 2. So let's see here as an example of logistic regression. Here we have time spent and like page, visit, and purchase. Like we have a website where people are e-commerce company want to predict whether the customer will purchase or not on basis of their browsing behavior. So they will spend some time on the website, they will visit certain pages, number of pages they will visit, or whether they will purchase it not. So this is categorical data here, like 0 stand for not purchase, 1 stand for purchase. And now how we will do that with that? So we can create them also in a chart. So x1 is the time spent, x2 is the x1 and x2 are your independent variable, or you can call them predictor variable, and purchase y is our response variable, means your dependent variable here. So the logistic regression model can be represented as log p divided by 1 minus p equal to beta 1 plus beta null plus beta 1 multiplied by x1 plus beta 2 multiplied by x2, where p is the probability of making the purchase. So we have to find out p, what is the probability of making the purchase. So beta 1, beta null, and beta 2 are coefficient here. So that's all on the video. Thank you very much for watching.